This is John Dollar of Prayer Builders. Right now, we are in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. We're at verse 13, and let's just start reading at verse 12 and keep moving through these verses. It says, "We beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord." Now, and then let's go on and read verse 13. These two kind of are together, so that's why we want to read them both. And it says in verse 13, "And to esteem them very highly in love for their works' sake." Now, this is a pretty powerful verse. And this is basically showing, now, sometimes, yesterday when we were covering this, I was focusing on how supernaturally you should be led by God and know who the leaders He would have for you to have in your life. Because they're the ones they're going to be talking your language. They're going to be saying things that set you off. When you get around them, you are just going to know this is like what I'm supposed to be connected with. You may not have all your questions answered, but you just know this just seems right. This just seems good. And it adds something in your life, and it adds to your peace level. It'll add to every part of your life. But it says here, "We beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you." Now, that word labor, that doesn't just mean people that are just, in general, just working in the ministry. But that word labor, it has, and I'm only saying this because it ties to verse 13. This word in the Greek means to feel. Now it means to labor, and it means not just to labor, but to feel fatigue. It means to labor, to feel fatigue, to work hard, to labor, and to be wearied. Now, here's the thing. The ministry is a drain. Like right now, I've worked a lot of jobs. I like working with my hands. I used to be a cobbler. I worked in not peach or cherry or blueberry. I used to be a cobbler that repairs shoes, repairs leather goods, replaces zippers, fixes rips, and does all kinds of things like that. And I worked with my hands. Now that would wear me, it would get me tired physically what I did. But when you're in the ministry, it's not just physical. It's not just replacing something on a shoe. It goes into mental wear, and it's even spiritual, because it's being expended upon. That's why Jesus told his disciples they had been ministering to multitudes, and he said, "Come on, let's get aside to a solidarity place. Let's get a place where no people are, and let's rest a while." I mean, there were times when Jesus would just take his disciples, and they would just go into solitude and get away from everyone, just to rest, because of the demands of the ministry. Well, that's what this word labor means. It doesn't just mean working and you're doing and you're just busy. It means this stuff wears on you. The ministry wears on you and pulls you down. Care is associated with tending and overseeing the church. Paul said that more than once. He used the word care. And it's a supernatural care. And it takes something out of you. It drains you. Well, it says, because of this, it says, "We beseech you to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you, and then esteem them very highly in love for their work's sake." Now, that word esteem, that basically means to value them. Literally, to value those leaders. And then what is so wild here that I just love about this, some people, now I know sometimes this stuff has been taken and pushed to extremes when it comes to honoring individuals. But I think this word right here is really, really balanced, how it says this in scriptures. It says, "Value them that labor among you." And they are basically caring for you, and they are carrying this load. And it says, Why? To value them and esteem them. And then it even says how. It says esteem them highly in love. Basically, lavish them with love. I mean, that's what that one version actually says something like that. One version of scripture. But it says to esteem them very highly in love. And it doesn't say to do it because necessarily of what they've done or who they are. It says do it for their work's sake. For their just because of where God has them. Just because of their place, honoring that work to be a leader and to be a reminder and to be somebody that's basically in these last days, we have got to be connected with people that literally put strength into us. They're speaking strength into us. They're speaking faith into us. We are not getting, it is just so important to be connected with these connections with the right people. So I hope this was a blessing to you. I want to remind you of this. We'll be back tomorrow going on to the next verse. Jesus is coming back.